We're told that there are 4 states. There's waking, dreaming and sleeping. These are the states which most of us acknowledge that we spend our time in. But there's also a 4th state, and that is a state which is described as transcendental. It's a state which doesn't identify with notions and which is free from following our own latent psychological tendencies. And in the previous chapter there was a state described as beyond this, the Turiya-atita. And this is because we cannot talk about it. It's basically the same as the transcendental. But as soon as we start talking about these states, we form notions of them. It's impossible not to form a notion of it. And even if you try not to form a notion of it, you kind of give the Absolute some kind of sense of neutrality, some kind of neutral notion. And you can't do that. That's a notion as well. It's impossible not to form notions of these things when we talk about them. And so we got this story where the Absolute is identified with a wood apple fruit. And in the next chapter, the Absolute is identified as a rock, which might seem a little bit strange and eccentric even. But the idea is we mustn't get fixed on any notion of the Absolute, any notion of the transcendental. So it's quite good to put in different notions, or to explore the notions we've got with the Absolute, so we don't get attached to any of them. Getting attached to a notion of the Absolute is spiritual death. Vasishta continued, "In this connection, O Ram, there is an instructive parable which I shall presently narrate to you. There is a wood apple fruit which is immeasurably large, and which does not decay nor perish, though it has existed for countless aeons." Can you feel your notion of the Absolute changing already when you think of it as a wood apple fruit? It is the source and support of the nectar of immortality and indestructibility. It is the abode of sweetness. Though it is most ancient, it is ever new, like the new moon. It is the very centre or heart of the universe. It is unmoving, and it is not shaken even by the forces of cosmic dissolution. This wood apple fruit, which is immeasurably large, is the original source of this creation. Even when it is fully ripe, it does not fall from its place. It is forever fully ripe, but it does not become overripe. Even the Creator Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, and the other gods do not know the origin of this wood apple fruit. No one has seen the seed, nor the tree on which this fruit grows. The only thing that can be said about it is that this fruit exists, without beginning, without middle, and without end, without change, and without modification. Even within this fruit there is no diversity. It is completely full, without emptiness. It is the fountain source of all joys and delights, from the delight of an ordinary man to that of the highest of divinities. Thus, this fruit is none other than the manifestation of the energy of infinite consciousness. This energy of the infinite consciousness, without even for a moment abandoning its own true nature, has manifested this creation, as it were, by merely willing it in its own intelligence. It hasn't even willed it, it's just happened. In fact, even this, that is, that it willed so, is not really true. The ego sense that is implied in such willing is itself unreal. But out of this have proceeded all the elements and their corresponding subjective senses. In truth, that energy of the infinite consciousness itself is space, time, natural order, expansion of thought, attraction and repulsion, I-ness, you-ness, and itness, above, below, the other directions, the mountains, the firmament and the stars, knowledge and ignorance. All, whatever is, was and will ever be. All that is nothing but the energy of the infinite consciousness. Though it is one, it is conceived of as diverse beings. It is neither one nor many. It is not even it. It is established in reality. It is of the nature of supreme, all-inclusive peace. It is the one immeasurably great cosmic being or self. It is cosmic energy of the nature of cosmic consciousness. So we can relate to the Absolute as an immortal and indestructible wood apple. It's God.